Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip, and today we got a lot of craziness to talk about. More FUD coming out, but is this legitimate or was this just a publicity stunt? And what I'm talking about, guys, is the CFTC lawsuit versus Binance. What does that mean for a company like Crypto.com? What's going on with this battle with US regulators right now in the crypto industry, and why is everybody flocking to Bitcoin? Well, obviously the banks have been having a lot of issues, and you could say, really, is it one big fraud? Now the question is, and a lot of people want to debate this, is crypto the fraud or is banking? Well, guys, we're going to talk about why we think banking is the fraud and why we believe in the future of crypto here on this channel, what we're getting excited for, and kind of how we break down some of these stories that have been going on over the last couple weeks. A lot of crazes. And Sam Bankman-Fried, bail conditions were just changed, getting a little more strict on SBF, which is fantastic to see, as well as it just came out that he did massive bribes to Chinese government officials. This is breaking news, guys. Let's get into it with another live stream, but of course, it would not be a live stream of the Crypto Report without my partner on the channel, Blacksea. Blacksea, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Lots of crazy things happening in this world, my friends, and we're going to talk all about it.
That's right. And if you haven't done so already, guys, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel. Just know that at 10,000 subscribers, we are giving away $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. We're currently at 8,000 subscribers, guys, so don't miss out on that. Today, we're just going to get right into quick little price update and straight into the meat and potatoes and some of the news going on in the crypto markets, changing it up a little bit. Market cap at $1.15 trillion right now. Bitcoin dominance holding strong at right around 46% right now. It's Bitcoin's day in the sun, if you will. Bitcoin coming in at $27,100. Ethereum just under $1,800 right now. Binance Coin, let me point this out, guys. Binance Coin, with all the FUD going on, is right now only down 6.99% over the last 7 days. Really, to me,
Talk about strength. Talk about strength.
Incredible, right? I mean, this is a big story. There's FTX here, but this is a huge story. This is a government regulated agency in the US coming directly for the world's largest crypto exchange. The fact that it's holding this price, how incredible is that to you, Blacksea?
Honestly, I just wouldn't want to say is that I know this is a big statement to say, but to me, it just seems like it's just more FUD, really, that this lawsuit, whether it may be a lawsuit or not, whether it comes to this Binance shenanigans, I'll say, but really it's not Binance shenanigans. It's more so the governments that be trying to crush crypto. I don't think Binance is worried, and I don't think the people that invest in Binance are worried either, because the price shows. Back when FTX collapsed and all that FUD was going on with CRO Coin came down almost 50%. Just keep that in mind. Now you look at Binance, and I would say that this FUD is way heavier than the FUD that we had back when FTX collapsed in association with Crypto.com. It's down a measly 7%. It's actually fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest differences is right now is you can just see how strong the bulls really are. I mean, we feel, and we've talked about it on this channel, we feel like we have hit a bottom. We feel like the bottom is in, and now the bulls are out, and really just increasing over time. I mean, Michael Saylor just doubled down, bought more Bitcoin, millions of dollars worth of 6,000 Bitcoin, something like that. Michael Saylor doubling down. Even in the light of all the craziness going on. But the Bitcoin bulls are back, and the fact that Binance Coin can hold strong right now with a direct attack. I mean, they're actually threatening to pull any accessibility for Binance at all. That's Binance US out of the US. They're maybe going to be boxed out completely from the US market in a settlement. But now, to your point, Blacksea, this could just be FUD, right? And we're going to take a look at a story too. I got some articles to share. Hey, and maybe this lawsuit doesn't exist at all, is what we're coming to find some people saying on Twitter. So Still not a verified truth on that. I would probably lean more towards that this was just a publicity stunt from the CFTC, really, because they feel threatened. They're trying to defend the traditional banking system. You've got the CFTC and the SEC battling over what cryptos fall under their jurisdiction. And it's really a crazy time. And
well, let's get one thing straight before we move forward.
Yeah.
One thing straight here. There's a war on crypto right now, guys. You know, if you really see what's going on, there's a war on crypto right now. So it's not hard to believe that there are people attacking government agencies, attacking crypto in every which way possible. They're not going to come out outright and just ban it because they can't.
Nope.
But they're going to look for ways to deter people from using it.
They want to slow it down because they can't stop it. So they're putting speed bumps in the way. You know, but are these really effective? Are these speed bumps effective, Blacksea?
I think to the people that have used crypto and own crypto, no, not at all. But for true mass adoption, yes and no. I think that they're going to have the opposite effect, honestly, because the harder they push people to not use crypto, people are going to say, well, why? What is it doing? Is it hurting people? No. Is it making people die? No. What's it doing? Are many crimes being committed by this? No. Then people are going to start to look deeper into it and realize, hey, maybe there's something else going on here.
You know, and that's an incredible point, because really we live in a time where you used to just get your information from one source, two sources, a couple sources, really media conglomerates, right? I mean, we're looking at CNN right now, Fox News, you know, two of the biggest names you guys have heard out there. You look at some of the biggest media publications, and when they spit out something, it almost is like they tried to make it fact, right? But now people are getting smarter than that, right? When I see a headline, I'm going to look for alternative narratives, and then I'm going to decipher for myself, right, which tribe, I guess, let's say, has a better idea, right? I mean, or maybe the best way to think about it is, let me take a blend of all these ideas that I did some research on and come up with a true position of my own. It's really going to be, I do agree with you, Blacksea. I think that this is just so blatant. It's so obvious. And I could relate it to some other things, but I don't want to get controversial. You know, I can't put too big of a tinfoil hat on, but I do think you're exactly right. They're going to drive people really away from what they're saying and towards the truth. Because when you look at what blockchain technology is, it's way better. Bitcoin is way better than fractional banking and the traditional banking system. And this story, and here's a great point, and this is a perfect segue. Sam Bankman-Fried tried to bribe Chinese officials. This is the way that it's really done, right? The banks own politicians, whether it's in America, whether it's in China, whether it's in whatever country you want to say. Really, at the end of the day, it's money that makes these big media conglomerates tick. It makes the politicians tick. And that's why you see, it's so obvious. Sam Bankman-Fried knew how it worked. Unfortunately for him, he got caught, right? This is literally, guys, $40 million to several Chinese officials that he actually tried to bribe. But Blacksea, remember, this isn't just a China problem. Remember our Congress FTX problem?
Oh,
1 in 3 members?
That article right there is kind of like a smoking gun when to this whole scenario that we're all in while being in crypto is, guys, 1 in 3 members got money from FTX. What? Yeah. That it's just mind-boggling. That when I saw this and heard about this, I was, honestly, I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised that they were talking about it, because the fact that this occurs and now everybody knows, wait a second, this occurs, and they just mark it as donations. Wow.
It was incredible. I mean, really, guys, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Now, you could argue that, too, FTX is kind of the reason that we're in this whole CFTC and SEC pickle as it is, but you can kind of thank FTX for kind of showing you really how the CFTC and the SEC are really scrambling. They're trying to figure out, like we talked about speed bumps, how to put the speed bumps in, but also who's responsible for putting in those speed bumps. The FTX collapse happened. Now banks are collapsing. The feds, right now you've got the CFTC, these other government agencies like the SEC trying to plug the hole in the boat in banking. Well, what's the best way for them to do that? The argument might be to attack the world's largest exchange, right? And make it a bad guy. Let's change the narrative, right? The banks are failing, says the Fed, the CFTC and the SEC. They're trying to kind of support the Fed, right? Support their government and really try to crush the competition of the people that make everything tick. And that's the banks, right? But is that really a healthy relationship? You look at monopolistic nature of capitalist society, and is this really something that would be good for them to be able to squash the innovation of new technologies, right? Squash the future of money and cryptocurrency technology like blockchain technology? Because it really seems like that's what they're trying to do. And it's really seems like it's only in an effort to protect the banks. It's really...
I agree. It's when you put it that way, Crypto Kip, I mean, when you put it that way, you realize how selfish of an act it is to try to get rid of cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. You realize who gains from crypto hypothetically going away and who loses. Mm-hmm. Now that's the true question, because the people that lose is going to be 99% of the world, and the 0.1% are going to be the people that are winning, and those people are the banks.
Yep. It's just, it's really getting increasingly obvious to me, and it's really funny. I mean, it's kind of funny to start watching them panic and really just try to change the narrative. Whenever you see aggressive push to change the narrative, it's so obvious. But guys, here's something, Blacksea, I don't think we talked about this on one of our phone calls yet, so I'm going to get your live take on this. But this is something I've been talking about in my videos. Now, obviously, the CFTC is coming after Binance. Well, back just a couple weeks ago, before we heard about this alleged attack from the CFTC on Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, we saw crypto.com put out this options product. Now, for all you guys that don't know, they bought a CFTC regulated product. They bought a company that had regulation acceptability, I guess, if you will, with the CFTC, and they launched this options platform in the United States of America. Now, keep in mind, it is these U.S. agencies that are attacking Binance and crypto right now. If in a world where Binance does fully get kicked out of the U.S., this actually would create, really, in my mind, a huge opportunity, not only for crypto.com, but other crypto companies that depend on the U.S. market would get a serious advantage over Binance from getting completely boxed out. Now, it's a big world. Binance has a huge lead. I'm not going to say Binance is going to die. Whether or not this is true information that the CFTC is really suing them or not. But I do think it's very impressive to see, as all this regulatory headwinds are coming for crypto, crypto.com really got out in front of this one. This was a really interesting timed release in conjunction with this FUD coming for Binance on the CFTC. What are your thoughts on that, Blacksea?
I'm going to be honest. I think it's good it's a good look for crypto.com, but if I was crypto.com, I would do what they've done best, and that's lay low when all the eyes are on the space of the crypto exchanges. Only talk about things when it's necessary. Yep. However, I am excited to try this product out. I am excited to see how it goes, but at the same time, it would be, I would like to think that it would be impossible for the CFTC to sue crypto.com for using a CFTC regulated product. But at the same time, this whole lawsuit of CFTC suing Binance is because they're calling Ethereum a commodity, even though the SEC just sued Kraken for calling an Ethereum a security. That being said, anything's possible here.
Anything's possible here. It would be crazy if the CFTC did just like flip the script, be like, oh, well, this isn't what we meant for this product, this company, you know, like this, that's not how the license worked. You can't do this, right? Maybe that happens. I'd be surprised if it did. But it's very cool to see that this came out a week before any of this FUD came with the CFTC deal. And, you know, to your point, I agree with you, Blacksea. I want to see them lay low and just stick to what they do. And really, I would argue that Chris Marszalek, you could say, hey, as a crypto.com person, you like crypto.com, you like CRONOS. I wish Chris Marszalek would talk more like CZ. Maybe some people are out there thinking, I wish he'd be more vocal. I wish he'd be more playful in Twitter and more entertaining, right? Like an Elon Musk or like a CZ getting kind of sassy, I guess, if you will, on Twitter, being funny. But I think, to your point, Blacksea, it is important they stay low, and I think he does a good job. You know, he keeps it pretty simple. He does a retweet here. He supports his product launch by retweeting this as well. It's with a comment on it. He talks about some of these FinTech Revolution conferences that the president and COO of the company goes, more F1 racing ads. And then he pins, hey, we got a regulatory license moving forward in Dubai. And there's really not much more. And then you kind of go to CZ's Twitter and you see, funny, witty, and it's kind of entertaining, but that's an interesting difference between the two. I don't know. Which one do you like better, I guess? It's an interesting thing how different these leaders of these crypto exchanges are acting.
I'll tell you what. I think that there's a mixture of both is appropriate at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
I do think that I would go far and say that maybe a reason why CZ is being targeted is because he basically took down the #1 crypto exchange in the United States.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe that's why he's a target right now. So, and I'm not seeing crypto.com, knock on wood, getting targeted nearly as heavy. And Binance CZ definitely comes out and says some questionable things when it comes to if the crypto market was held to the same standard of insider trading levels as the traditional market. There's some things that he said that back when FTX was collapsing about calling out companies and whatnot that irk me a little bit. However, I do like the transparency and I think it's refreshing.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what? You just had an insanely excellent point. That is probably not only because it's the biggest exchange out there and they want to make an example of it, but they definitely knocked out FTX, right? I mean, FTX arguably would have been knocked out anyway, but it is clearly CZ and Binance that threw that final uppercut and that knockout punch.
Imagine if FTX was still going on right now, and then in a year from now, it all comes out, and instead of $8 billion misplaced, it's $100 billion of people losing their money. That could cause massive economic crisis. That could cause a literal recession.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and think about the days when we get into the trillions and trillions. I mean, we're already at a 1 point something trillion dollar market cap, almost a $3 trillion market cap in the last bull run. I did a video today. I talked about a $24 trillion market cap, and you really start looking at some metrics, and something like that, as crazy as it sounds, is feasible. Now, is it likely? You could argue, hey, maybe that's not the likely number, but something like that, you look at the charts, is feasible. And it's good to see some of these bad players getting out. Well, it's still kind of in its infancy, but inevitably, I feel like there will be some big player that fails, right? As long as we have centralized entities or too big of players, right? And I think that's why it's important too that we kind of. And I saw some people in the comments, I wish that, you guys talked a little bit about more altcoins, things like this. And, I think it is important to allow the opportunity for people to explore all these different communities, because instead of having one big king company, one king exchange, I think it's extremely healthy to have not only multiple centralized exchanges, but hundreds and hundreds of decentralized exchanges. spread the wealth a little bit, right? Give some diversity, give people their own little community, right? And I think that's what you're starting to see, a shift away from kind of the mainstream media and more towards like pockets of existence, right? It's not just a two opinion life, right? I think this or I think that. I think there's a lot of people that are starting to, you look at YouTube, you start seeing podcasts out there, get more unique opinions, and really start to think and kind of tap into some of these other thought bubbles and borrow and share ideas, which is going to be a lot more healthy in the end. And I just really wish that the CFTC and the SEC and just like the Fed and the government could get over this whole show about how traditional banks are the only thing and crypto's a risk and it's total chaos.
Why can't we have both?
Why
can't we have both?
Why can't
I think that's a very fair point too about everybody needs to work together here, and when it really comes down to it, the CRO Coin and the Crypto.com, the CRO fam community is one community in the thousands of communities underneath the crypto and Web3 umbrella. As I've dove in as I've dove in deeper and deeper into, especially the NFT ecosystems, oh my gosh, guys, there's an insane amount of communities. And when people start to work together, that's when you really see true, healthy change.
Yeah. No, it's coming. It's coming. I was just taking a peek at the chats too, Blacksea. Richard Merrill, thank you so much. Yeah, guys, if you don't mind hitting up the like button, if you love crypto and you're getting ready for the next bull run and you want to have your bags pumped, well, there's nothing better you can do than smash the like, spread the word about crypto, help the YouTube algorithm realize that crypto videos are relevant. I see you guys are looking for a Bitcoin update. We're going to go through a couple more news stories. I'm going to get into some charts and some predictions at the end, given all this news, but there's quite a bit to cover on this really crazy news. And just to kind of wrap up, Blacksea, the Binance news, you brought this to my attention right before the stream. I didn't even see this, guys. Crypto news happens so fast, and you're really going to get your information a lot faster on Twitter. Now, this isn't verified, but allegedly, after everything we just talked about, there's allegedly no CFTC lawsuit against Binance anymore. But I will also warn you, the source... reputable industry professionals, very specific, very good source. We don't know who these people are, right? So nothing's confirmed, guys. So when a story breaks, one thing you don't want to do is panic sell, right? I mean, honestly, for me, Blacksea, and tell me what your thoughts are on this. I think we're on the same page, but when I see a panic story break in the crypto markets, when the FTX collapse happened, I was buying more crypto. What an incredible buying opportunity. And so any piece of news, I'm going to buy the dip and I'm going to say, hey, the news might come out. This might be true. We might go down further. Still great. Got a cheaper price than it was a day ago. Or this is FUD. It's just a short-term dip and I'm going to make a quick flip and we're going to V-shape back up, right?
Yeah. Buying when the blood is in the streets, the most cliche saying when it comes to trading, but man, oh man, can it be severely effective on increasing your profits. But UCME says in the chat he wants to see us talk about more altcoins, talk about just more things in crypto and Web3. I would love to talk about more of that. And we are starting to talk about more and more of that, where Crypto Kip does a Bitcoin video in the midday. I'm starting to talk more about NFTs. I just know you guys love CRO Coin, so we try to give you guys CRO Coin content. But there's definitely more things to be paying attention to in the crypto space other than just CRO Coin. There's many projects to be looking at. There's many news stories specifically that we should be looking at, and just kind of where this total industry is headed.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is right now too is where is all the attention? The attention's on Bitcoin. It is all about regulation, Bitcoin, and the top 10 coins really, or maybe you could argue the top 20 coins, right? You're going to hear about Shiba Inu. For some reason, people still like to talk about Terra Luna Classic, which is a bad investment in my opinion. Not financial advice, but that thing's dead in my mind. You hear there's a lot of videos out there about a lot of projects, but the reality is, guys, is it's Bitcoin season right now, and there will be an altcoin rally, and it will be insanely massive. But there's really not a lot of news coming out about these altcoins right now because, frankly, it seems like generally people just want to know where's the market going overall. And so what do? They look to Bitcoin, really. So yeah, UCME, we are going to talk more about altcoins here as things start to heat up. Absolutely, but we'll try to get them more in the live streams. I appreciate the feedback, folks. The question is up in the air, though. These government agencies are struggling. Are we dealing with commodities or securities? There's a battle going on. Why, guys? Because they are confused. It is so obvious. And then Gary Gensler is coming out with a tweet. This came out today. Investors in the crypto markets are putting their assets at risk in a highly speculative asset class. Today, investors in these markets lack fundamental disclosures about crypto assets and about the firms who execute their trades. Just spreading FUD, throwing speed bumps in the road. It's just what Gary Gensler does. It's just really all they have to do. And if you guys look at the comments section, there is nothing. There's not one single person who supports Gary Gensler's opinion here. It's hilarious. I don't even know what the point of the tweet is.
Where was he when FTX was running? Where was he then?
He was doing meetings with SBF,
Oh, right. He was accepting money. I forgot about that. Right.
How has there not been any proof, right, that he accepted? We saw the relationship between he taught at MIT, and then so did, I think it was Caroline Ellison's father, and all these different connections with the family. There's something going on there, but we never did see the financial proof. Now, maybe that still comes out, Blacksea, because we just saw the $40 million China bribe that Sam Bankman-Fried did. So maybe when Gary Gensler can stop trying to conduct this symphony of FUD, and he gets kicked out of the SEC, maybe that finally comes into the light, right? Maybe we do get to see that.
We get some light shed on the million of secret corners that there probably are yet to have light be shed on.
Yeah, but in the meantime, they're trying to shift the narrative. Look at this headline: crypto-friendly banks mismanage traditional risks. The FDIC just say traditional banks mismanaged risks, like crypto-friendly banks. There are other banks that were struggling. It's Credit Suisse, it's First Republic Bank. It's SVB and Silvergate as well, but there's an argument to be made that was actually anti-crypto politicians that fueled the fire that put those banks on this huge bank run.
They just don't want to say traditional banks feeling pressure from interest rate hikes.
No, they don't. And here's why. Because the banks are dying. The banks are having an issue right now. Bank stocks fall again today after top regulators. And this is, Senator Elizabeth Warren and the the FDIC Corporation Chairman Martin Gruenberg. Look at this intense. Look at both hands on the table, it's heated, look at all the paparazzi, clearly just a photo op, just they're probably both on the same page here. Cronies in politics. I'm sure they have opposing opinions publicly, but you know how it is, guys. It's really the banks versus crypto, and bank stocks are falling. That's, I do believe, why we're getting these headlines, right? People are trying to, again, push this narrative away from the banks, and they're just doing a blame game. And they don't know what to do. But the truth is it's the money printer, it's the Fed raising the interest rates, and it's the banks taking on too much risk, and the banks are collapsing as a result of that. And so the Fed now is feeling like they have to stop raising interest rates, but they can't, because if they do, then inflation is going to get worse. And then we talk about hyperinflation. And guys, these are all the reasons that Bitcoin and crypto are so bullish right now. And these are the reasons that Michael Saylor is buying 6,000 Bitcoin right now. And if I had the money, so would I.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that literally it's come down to that the Federal Reserve is printing money and raising interest rates at the same time. They're calling it, they're not bailing banks out, yet they're printing money to save the banks. They're lending them the money. It's pretty crazy that we've come to a point where people are like, where do I put my money? There's no right answer at all. The only thing that makes sense is Bitcoin right now. It's pretty awesome to see that. At the same time, it's a little bit scary, I will say. I think that it is a little bit it's a right feeling to be concerned about that, definitely. But at the same time, if you're here and you know about crypto, then you'll probably be all right.
Absolutely, and that's it. I mean, it's so tough. It's so tough during the bear markets, and just when you think we're starting to get going, another story hits you, and there's a lawsuit coming here, and China bans Bitcoin, and then it unbans it again, and then it bans it 2 more times, and then there's an unban, and then they move the miners, and then there's a whole there's so many of these stories, right? How many times have you heard North Korea hacks all this crypto? I feel like you see that headline every other month, right? They just constantly throw the FUD, but inevitably, guys, Bitcoin's going to do its thing. These banks are falling. It's flowing into Bitcoin. That's why right now we're getting a nice bounce, a really nice bounce on some of these resistances that we've drawn out. I do believe, guys, there's a chance. Now, coming to the end of the month for Bitcoin, I do believe there's a chance we kind of bounce off this level right at this $26,500 level and kind of break back up to test this $29,000 level. We'll have to see if we can do that. If we do break above this, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, to see a run, maybe even up to 32,000, kind of testing these previous peaks back from May of 2022. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But you got to note, regardless of if we kind of go right up in this way in a hurry, or if we kind of test back down into these levels, overall, guys, when you zoom out, these things are going up, right? Blacksea, we haven't really got too much into this, but I did a video earlier today, and I kind of want to rehash out these ideas. Now, we all got to understand, guys, diminishing returns are a thing. But if you measure out the bear market from 2018 and 2019, and you see from the bottom of that bear market, and guys, by the way, we're looking at the overall market cap right now, to the top of the next bull market, you're actually talking about from bottom to top overall in crypto, $2.96 trillion flowed into the asset class, and it's a 3,100% gain. Texas Crypto, thank you so much for the super chat. Brother, absolutely spectacular. Says, please do a vid on DeFi staking. I still have not figured out what to do with my X Tonic. Texas, you got it, man. That video's coming for you, my brother. Thank you for your super chat. And I'm bullish on Tonic, by the way, and I'm bullish on a lot of different altcoins, guys. And here's the reason. 3,100% gains from the previous bull market in 2018 to the peak of the most recent bull market that we just had. 3,100% gains. Well, what if the bottom's in, like we talk about here on the channel, and we get something similar? Guys, you could see at 3,200% gains, a $24 trillion market cap. Maybe we don't go quite that high, right? But there is definitely a chance that we fall in between, a $10 trillion market cap, possibly all the way up to this $24 trillion market cap. And when you start thinking about that, if we can kind of mimic some of these gains, likely somewhere in between these is something I'd expect, maybe 16, maybe $20 trillion. That is something that's reasonable, especially as we see this banking crisis happen, especially as you see investors like BlackRock and some of these other companies like Fidelity start to offer crypto trading services. A bull run like this could absolutely happen. Now, diminishing returns could be a thing, but institutional investors, could they bring enough juice, right? Is this real, or is this a bubble, right? I think we've kind of gotten past the bubble piece, Blacksea. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin has proven the test of time so far. I do think that diminishing returns are definitely a thing, but I also do think that there will come a time when Bitcoin needs to jump over that adoption to mass adoption stage, and when that does happen, well, maybe those diminishing returns aren't so much diminished anymore. That's what it really comes down to, is how much will people lean into crypto when everybody doesn't trust centralized entities anymore? Maybe. Is that soon? Maybe.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say, but I do think that there's in my mind, I don't see a place where Bitcoin doesn't eventually reach the market cap of gold.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see a place where that does not happen. I really don't.
And increasingly, Blacksea, I'll tell you, I feel like it's getting more and more possible for the next bull run, as crazy as that might be, as bullish, as super bull boy that might be. because of this crisis going on. You look at just the previous, if we can get a 3,000% gain, we'd be at around a $20 trillion market cap. At that point, if Bitcoin is at a 45% dominance, then you really could be having, trillions of dollars flow in. And I'll show you this too. I was actually doing this. So if CRO Coin was valued at $500,000, then its market cap would be $10 trillion. Well, that's exactly the math. I mean, if Bitcoin, just say, Bitcoin dominance, 50%, right? I mean, it's 46%. Let's call it 50%. If you have a $20 trillion market cap, there's 21 million Bitcoin in existence. If you had a $500,000 CRO Coin, it would have a $10 trillion market cap, which is exactly what you see if we can get up to this, some of the top of these bands. You look at the previous gains, there's your case, right? There's the argument. And you look at this Bitcoin rainbow chart that we talk about so much on the channel, a $500,000, a $422,000 Bitcoin is very, very possible. You go back over to this and let's just pretend let's just do that $422,000 Bitcoin. That's still almost a $9 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. And to your point, Blacksea, you think you could flip gold. Well, gold's only at, 11 or $12 trillion. So that is really close. Is that something we see in the next bull run? I don't know, but.
And I don't know. It's hard to say. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of, as I like to say, there's a lot of stars aligning here. And especially when it comes to regulation and the Bitcoin halving. I mean, there's so many things that are aligning up where it could really ignite a bull run that could potentially bring us there. And I know that's being like, I'm putting my moon boy pants on, but it's important that we look at potential outcomes here.
Yeah, and it's so crazy to think too. Been through both of these previous bull runs, absolutely spectacular times. And I'll tell you, Blacksea, every single time when we really get going, when the gains really start getting face melting, no matter how much you prepare, even this third time, third time's the charm, think I know this thing so well. Even though I feel like the $400,000 Bitcoin is possible, and I talk about why, and all these things, and we talk about this every day. When it starts to happen, it's going to feel unbelievable. It's still going to be unbelievable because crypto and the way that it goes up traditionally has historically been absolutely unbelievable, right?
Yeah, yes, honestly.
So here, guys, Bitcoin's stealing the show right now. But I want to give you guys a little bit of a flavor on what CRO's doing. Still kind of struggling versus Bitcoin. This is the CRO versus Bitcoin chart right now. Kind of still trying to get down to the bottom. I keep saying it. I think we maybe have about 40% more downside. That's what this move is, if we can test the bottom of this. And then Bitcoin, crypto.com coin, Binance coin, Cosmos, whatever your coin is. If $20 trillion flow into crypto, coins that have a $1.6 billion market cap like CRO, coins that even have a $50 billion market cap like Binance, have so much potential for just a couple $1 billion to flow into those coins when trillions are flowing into the overall market is so reasonable and practical, especially as you start looking at some of the top coins. So bullish, guys, so bullish. So good to see for crypto.com here that they have the CFTC approved product. It's actually really good too to see that there's now kind of alleviation of the fears and the FUD versus Binance, the CFTC. Maybe that's false, right? We'll keep you posted on that. But these are pretty good things right now. I'm feeling, CRO is a killer right now. It's hurting the portfolio in a way. You look at Bitcoin, it feels like it hurts, but really, A, we're still up in the air, and B, we're still excited for the future of this coin. How are your feelings right now on CRO right now, Blacksea?
I mean, it's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do, especially in where we're at in this 4-year cycle. I mean, we're getting to that point where Bitcoin is coming up, and we're probably getting ready for a bigger move to the upside with Bitcoin leading into the halving. Now, whether that's 3 months, 5 months, 8 months from now, only Bitcoin knows that. But, altcoins are bleeding out against against Bitcoin, excuse me. And it's going to be that way for a little while. I was just on the phone with one of my friends, and he was asking me about some advice for for crypto and for investing. And I was telling him, if I were you right now, I would be buying Bitcoin because there will come a time when altcoins are the right thing to buy. But right now, in my opinion, it's Bitcoin, accumulate Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin makes its big move to the upside and starts to trade sideways for a little bit, maybe a couple months out from the Bitcoin halving, now that's when you start buying those altcoins. And that's when you start seeing those 10, 20, 30 X's on those altcoins.
The unbelievable.
But so honestly, CRO Coin is doing what I thought it would be doing.
Yep. Really, we are. It's tough. It's tough. You say the same thing. You just want everybody to know. It's boring, and it's an accumulation phase, and it's an incredible opportunity. It feels boring, but really, guys, it should be incredibly, incredibly exciting. Every dollar you can get it. You guys, not financial advice, right? This is two guys, love crypto, been a part of this cycle. You got to do your own research. We're going to tell you what our thoughts are. But, guys, not financial advisors, but these bear markets, traditionally, these are the most exciting times, really, when you think about it, because then you go back in 7 months, in a year from now, when everything's ripping upward, when you're making money hands over fist, you can look back 6-7 months to these days, right, where you bought, and you can just say it with pride. As your mailman comes, or you're at your Thanksgiving dinner. Let's say, hey, in Thanksgiving of 2025, maybe at the peak of maybe that's the peak of the next one. Who knows, right? You're sitting with your family and they're like, hey, Bitcoin's pretty, should I buy some Bitcoin? You can say with a smile on your face, oh, definitely. Yeah, I bought it back in 2023, during the bear market. And everybody's going to go, what? Oh, no way, man.
Yeah, everyone's going to freak out like, oh my gosh, you did that? Wow, you're so cool. You're so smart. And then after you leave that Thanksgiving dinner, you should think to yourself, man, I should probably sell some right now.
Oh, you gotta sell. That's exactly right. When the mailman and the neighbor and the family are like, thinking about buying, and they were never into it, when they're all starting to get the itch, that's when you're probably up in this seriously sell mode. And when they actually buy, that's the maximum bubble territory, right? Yeah, that's great. Smash up the like button for that if you've been through that with your family. Absolutely. But Bitcoin's holding strong despite some of the CFTC FUD right now. One of the reasons the liquidations are down over the last few days. People are kind of backing off the trigger on the leverage trading. We made our big move up to $27,000, $28,000, $29,000. The leverage traders are taking a breath. The next big move we get is going to be probably because of another greedy long or a greedy short. Could be either way. I would hope to see it be a greedy short. Maybe we can get that move to $30,000. Maybe we can get up to $32,000 like we were talking about. But right now, the waters are calm. The waters are calm.
You know what I'll say is something that's kind of been piquing my interest a little bit is that it seems that Bitcoin and crypto is pretty unbothered by negative news right now. It seems like the sellers are gone, which to me says that the only way we're going to really move to the downside is honestly from liquidating longs. So keep that in mind, guys, because you know what else that means too is that the only way we're going to go to the upside is people buying. So I think that it would take a lot to really push us low. I mean, there's lots of FUD, and the markets are just not reacting anymore. The sellers are gone.
Yeah, and if the sellers are there, they're so weak right now. They're so weak. The bulls are absolutely in control. But, the CFTC collapse thing, or whatever that is for Binance, Bitcoin drops $1,000. Who cares? A 2% move. That's just a regular old move for Bitcoin, right? What we care about is the 10, 20% moves. Either way, right? Hopefully up, but those are the ones that we really pay attention to. And frankly, guys, price action up or down don't matter to me. I'm buying. I'm a buyer. Richard Merrill, thanks for the super chat. Do you all know about XDC? It is at 4 cents. You know what? Actually, Richard, typically we don't like to talk about some coins we don't know. Blacksea actually heard a little bit about this coin. People are pretty excited about that project. I think there's definitely a community there. Thank you for the super chat, Richard. I appreciate it. You know what? I'll even do him a favor here. We'll give him the solid. We'll take a peek at the XDC chart. I actually have a cousin. Shout out to my cousin if you're watching, and he's a big fan. But my understanding of it, you go here, you can kind of see a little bit of the details of it. So what is it? It is an EVM-compatible blockchain equipped with interoperable and smart contracts, highly optimized, and a bespoke fork of Ethereum. The XDC network reaches consensus through a dedicated proof-of-stake mechanism, which allows 2-second transaction time, near zero gas fees, and over 2,000 transactions per second. So, this is something I've heard people talk about. There's what it is, right? And so there's a lot of projects that are great like this out there. There's a chance that this has some good moves in the next bull market. I mean, some of the things that I'd look out for is one, what's the market cap on it? $562 million. That's pretty significant. $500 million. It's currently at rank number 81. Big time trading on KuCoin, which is a very big exchange, on Bitfinex, Bittrex. So those are pretty good exchanges for it to have access to. Look, I'll tell you this, Richard. XDC, maybe that is a good play. You'll just have to see. I mean, I'll tell you this too. There are some great projects out there that don't go up. That happens too. There's some fantastic crypto projects out there that just might not go up, right? That's just the facts. Now,
unfortunately, that's the way that it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the projects will go up, right? If trillions thrown to crypto, something like this would go up. Right now at 4 cents, previously at an all-time high of 18 cents. Can it hit that previous all-time high? I think that a lot of projects will. We'll have to keep an eye on this one, but certainly a lot of competition. If I was buying a project like XDC, I'll just give you my opinion, I'd probably have a light bag of it, right? It's a couple pennies, sure. It's a lower market cap coin. It's in the top 100, so it's not extremely risky, right? A 200 rank coin. But it's also not something where I'd probably want to have bulk of my money. Having exposure, that's fun. That's fun going into, if you believe in the project, if you've done your research, absolutely. You got to have a little bit of fun, and but do your research, guys. You got to do the research and keep an eye on some of the technicals, right? Also, one thing to note, CRO, here's a good thought. CRO right now is currently sitting at about 6.5 cents, 7 cents. Its previous all-time high was $1, right? That's about 10x, let's say. Actually, it's more like a 15x, something like that. Well, right now, this is at 4 cents. Its previous all-time high was around 20 cents. So the upside could be a little more limited on this as well, right? Just to get back to the previous all-time high, CRO has arguably more upside. So these are some of the things. I'm not saying buy CRO over XDC, but I'm just kind of trying to give you guys a insight into my mind, right? As I start looking towards what coins I'm picking, right? I try to have a reason for everything I buy. We talk about our reasons why we buy crypto.com here, why we buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these other projects. XDC is, interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of altcoins.
I see a question in the chat from UCME. He says, I'm not so sure crypto will moon at the BTC halvening. Remember the Ethereum merge where it was going to moon and it went down, LOL. Yeah, I do agree with you. And I will say that I think that I don't think we're going to moon the second the Bitcoin halvening happens. Historically speaking, we usually will start to make that move up a month or so after the Bitcoin halvening.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that. You might even see a little bit of a sell-off into the Bitcoin halvening.
Yeah, and here it is. There, back in 2016, Bitcoin halvening, sell-off. See this thing? This is a sell-off, a little bit of a downward move. And then June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 6-7 months later, we really started to make a significant move back up. And then more extreme volatility. So guys, just because a Bitcoin halvening comes doesn't mean it's going to be like open up a long and 100x leverage and it's going to the moon. Don't do that. Don't do that, guys. But it does mean that we're getting ready for more upward movements eventually. And so just continuing to accumulate is really the safest strategy. But I'll say this, if you guys do want to do a leverage trade and you think you can time the market or you're trading on technicals, we got free money for you guys when you sign up for a couple different leverage trading platforms in the link in the description down below. Please be careful, guys. That is for experienced traders only. Very low leverage is probably safer, but trade at your own risk, guys. But look, you see, a bull market's coming, but just because a halvening happens doesn't mean we go up overnight, right? Great question. That's a great question right there. Something you don't see, and here's the opposite actually too, Blacksea. Back in 2012, look, boom, Bitcoin happening an absolute explosion. That would be a fun. That's before we really had all the manipulation.
Back in the good old days, back in the good old days when Bitcoin just was incepted.
Yep. I think a lot of this is just greedy leverage and politicians playing games, right? You have these massive rallies with almost no hiccups back in the older bull runs, and as we kind of get going, look at how much choppier it gets. It's just getting sloppy,
that makes me think about something too. Back then, back then, I never saw the government mutter the word Bitcoin, let alone crypto, ever. Yep. And now it seems like every single day I'm hearing about the government talk about cryptocurrency, talk about the saying, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. We're definitely at the then they fight you stage.
Yep, it's coming. It's so exciting. And that's really a great point too, Blacksea. I don't think about that enough. I remember if I'd see somebody talk about Bitcoin on the news, I'd freak out and be like, yes, yeah, they're talking about Bitcoin. What a rare event. Now there's like a segment on CNBC all about crypto, like every single day, multiple times a day. Crypto.com advertises on CNBC every day still, I believe. Like, this is how it is. It's just ingrained in society. I listened to Joe Rogan a lot, and if he ever mentioned Bitcoin, he'd be like, whoa, Joe Rogan just talked about Bitcoin. Every fourth podcast, he has a guest now that talks about decentralization, the risk of CBDCs and Bitcoin and NFTs, right? He had Beeple on his podcast, I believe, even. It's getting so mainstream. And that's the other argument. They're fighting us. Why? Because it's catching on and they're threatened and we're winning. It's so exciting. Oh, it's so exciting. Guys, let's hit some questions in the comments down below. Just a reminder, we are giving away a loaded lion on the channel when we hit 25,000 subscribers. Just follow us at _crypto report for the details to that giveaway. And also note, if you're a member on our channel, you can become one by going to our YouTube page if you're not already. You can join and get loyalty badge next to your name, just like Texas Crypto, just like Nazar, just like all the homies in the chat with those badges next to their name and the custom emojis. Also, one of the most fun things, Blacksea, what else we got for them on the membership?
Yeah, you have access to our private Discord where it's a lot of fun. We have a more of a tight-knit one-on-one community with Crypto Kip and I, and we have NFT alpha, NFT trading signals, as well as just trading signals on the market. And we're going to be giving away some NFT whitelist spots as well. Super excited about that. And if you were a part of it, you would have heard about my CRONOS call of the Solana NFT, and it's been performing really, really well. I'm starting to take a little bit of profit right now, but yeah, lots of fun stuff there.
The CRONOS are looking good. Check those out if you guys haven't. Very, very interesting project. Great call there. Check it out, guys. Get into that Discord if you haven't done so already. Overall, we're feeling good, guys. Yes, there's a battle going on. Yes, I think there's an argument to be made that there's a lot of fraud going on, a lot of lies being dished. Yeah, from Sam Bankman-Fried, from some crypto people. You just saw that founder of Terra Luna go to jail as well. Do Kwon get captured. But let's look also at the government agencies. Are they guilty as well, right? Is the fact that Gary Gensler met with SBF in backdoor meetings ahead of the collapse an issue? Is this battle, right, where they're saying, hey, you need to regulate your product with our entity, but they still don't know whether the CFTC is responsible for this coin or the SEC is? Who's the fraud, guys? Who's the fraud? Let me know in the comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Can we hit a $30,000 Bitcoin in this next week or leading into the next month? Let me know in the comments below, guys. That's all we got today. Blacksea, any parting words for this crypto report community today?
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I always have a great time doing these streams, and I can't wait to see you on Thursday.
That's right, guys. We will come back on Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss it. Subscribe, hit the like, and as always, guys, don't forget to DCA HODL, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. See you next time.